All right, so we are going to start looking at anatomy and physiology. So we've talked about this med term wise, right? So we've looked at, let's highlight Anna, and we said Anna is a part we said otomy, cut into. So with anatomy, we're looking at the different body parts and how they have relationships to one another. So what does that mean? We talked about this a little bit, but let's double check to make sure that we understand. So we're looking at what is the size, what is the shape, location, position. We're going to name the parts. So that's going to be anatomy. So we've got a couple different types of anatomy. So let's look at those. So we have gross anatomy. So with gross anatomy, what it's saying is we're looking at large, easily visible ones. So we're going to see dissection. So remember, we do like the heart, the brain, the eye. So anything that I can look at, I can play with. This doesn't have to be real. If I use a plastic heart and I take it apart and I look at it, it's still going to be this, it's still going to be gross anatomy. Then we have regional anatomy. So regional anatomy says that we're going to study them by areas. So study by areas. All right, so when we do the legs, we could look at the blood vessels, the bones, the muscles, and the nerves all at the same time and just focus on the legs. We don't do that, but what we do is when we get to the bones, I will give you a list of the bones that are found in the arm. I will give you a list of the bones found in the skull, a list of the bones found in the arm, and we'll learn them in chunks. We don't do all of the systems together, but we do one system in chunks like this. Systematic anatomy is how we do it. So we study them by systems. So an example would be the respiratory system. So breathing. We're going to study that whole system together. All right, let's look at the next part of this. Surface anatomy, we're going to look at overlying skin with that. When we do the muscles, we are going to look at bodybuilders. And we are going to see so that when they flex this way, these muscles stick out. So that's going to be something that you're going to be able to see and be able to understand where the muscles are located at by how it looks. Microscopic anatomy. So remember, let's get my highlighter out here. Micro, small. We said scope, observe, or see. So we're looking at small things with the microscope. So what are we looking at in this class? We're going to do cytology, which is cells. We're going to do histology, which is tissues. So we're going to look at those things underneath the microscope. Developmental anatomy. So developmental anatomy is going to study changes that are going to occur throughout the lifetime. So we have a couple things that we would look at. So for example, we could do embryology, okay, which is before birth. So when does the baby start to first feel? When does the heartbeat start? those types of things. When does the baby first start to move while it's inside the womb? Then we have our pediatrics. And I think you guys have heard that before. So that is birth till about 18. Then we have our geriatrics, which is somebody that's going to study around 65 and older. So we have specific doctors, specific subjects studying these particular areas. Okay, then we have our physiology. Remember, physio, nature, function. So, how does it work? Renal physiology is looking at, what is my renal? That is my kidney and urine. Function, we could also say urine production, I guess. So renal, ren, means kidney. Then we're looking at neuro, nerve. We've got cardio, heart, vascular, blood vessels. See how this should be making sense to you. Then our overall statement. I talked to you about this, and the example I gave was the heart. So anatomy and physiology. Anatomy and physiology are used to predict the body's response to stimuli when healthy. So along with that, we're going to say this. We're going to say structure of an organ helps to determine function. And I'm going to put a little in between. Therefore,
excuse the interruption. With the following lab,
anatomy
to the multi-purpose room for minutes
determines
mechanic juniors, auto collision
physiology. All right. With that interruption, we are going to stop here.